Hello and welcome to another gameplay and review video. In this video, I will review The Park, a game by Funcom, who also developed Moons of Madness, which I just got done reviewing. And this is another kind of walking simulator game with some mild horror elements and story elements about a woman who has to search for her child in a theme park. So it's a pretty good one. So let's begin. The Park is a narrative experience best played in a dark room wearing headphones. It deals with subject matter that may be disturbing to some players. Funcom presents.
In my heart and mind, I always return to Atlantic Island Park.
Where's Mr. Bear?
I haven't seen Mr. Bear, Callum. Stay in the car. We'll go and ask information.
Atlantic Island Park.
Attention, patrons. The park is now closed. Please make your way to the car park at your earliest convenience. Employees prepare the park for shutdown.
Callum was born the day this place opened. This is his favorite place in the world.
Atlantic Island Park, a tribute to the untamed heart of Solomon Island and the people who used their talents to bring the dream of Nathaniel Winter to life. May this park be a place where joy and laughter are gathered and used to infect all of those who follow after. Dedicated this first day of May 1977. James B. Longley.
What?
Hey, Lorraine. Lorraine. Don't blame yourself, Lorraine. People lose things all the time. Take a deep breath and think about the last place you saw your son's teddy bear. Hey, stop! I think your boy just ran into the park. I'll unlock the gates for you.
Wait up there for Mommy, Callum.
Come on, Mommy!
Wait up there for Mommy, Callum.
This way, Mommy!
Nathaniel Winter welcomes you to Atlantic Island Park.
There's something special about the entrance to an amusement park. A line drawn between the real world and the world of whimsy within. On this side, the apathy of our everyday lives. And on the other, anything we might dare to dream. It's no wonder Callum ran back inside. I wouldn't want to leave either.
Attention, employees. The park is now closed. Have a safe journey home.
What happened here? It's easy to get lost here.
Okay, this is the park. We're gonna go this way, to the west, and then go out this way, and then do that.
You can't catch me.
There's where we'll end it, but we'll go past the House of Horrors first, into the Tunnel of Tales. Carrie Killian is Satan's whore.
Too dark. I'm not going in there without a flashlight. I think this belongs to Callum. Chad the Chipmunk, huh? Just a drunk guy in a suit.
Chad the Chipmunk welcomes you to Atlantic Island Park. Chad can be seen in daily ice sculpting shows in the following locations: 11 a.m. Sideshow Alley, 1 p.m. The Octatron, 3 p.m. Park Entrance. Chad the Chipmunk worst in class. Chad can't even seem to pass. Chad gets angry, likes to fight. Chad is beaten every night. Chad will have a dead-end job. Chad will die a useless slop.
What is this about?
Purchased the land on Solomon Island for a pittance, I might add. Whatever old Archie Henderson did to the locals, just the mention of his name had people slamming doors and locking shutters from the moment I arrived on the island. My lawyers had arranged everything in advance, but the realtor still had to come deliver the keys to me personally. He took it upon himself to offer me another warning. I don't know what you're planning to do with this land, Mr. Winter, but the soil here is bitter with a curse carried from the old country. Old man Henderson, he did terrible dark things. The land, remember, sir. I dismissed him shortly afterwards, mostly amused by his pathetic attempts at warning me off. I have a great vision for this place, and the will to see that vision through to the very end. Atlantic Island Park. The name is perfect, and I cannot imagine it being anything else. This is the start of something amazing.
Callum, stay where you are!
Come on, Mommy.
Near a great forest, there lived a poor woodcutter, his wife and his 2 children, a boy named Hansel and a girl named Gretel. They were very poor and had very little to bite or sup. "What will become of us?" the woodcutter asked his wife one night. "I tell you what, husband, we will take the children into the thickest part of the forest tomorrow and abandon them there." "No, my wife, I cannot do that," said the man. "Then we will all 4 starve, you fool." Hansel and Gretel overheard their parents talking, and Gretel began to weep. "Do not fret, Gretel," Hansel said. He crept out of the hut and gathered white stones from the ground to fill his pockets. The next morning, the woodcutter leads the children into the forest. Before they leave, their mother gives them a slice of bread and warns them that they will get no more food that day. Clever Hansel leaves a trail of white stones behind them as they pass into the woods. When their father leaves them, the children wait a while, then follow the trail back to their parents' house. After receiving a thorough scolding from their parents for getting lost in the woods, the children are sent to bed without any supper. Hansel tried to sneak out and collect more white stones, but found that the door was locked. "Tomorrow I will take them into the woods myself," the wife told the woodcutter. In the morning, their mother gave them a slice of bread and led them deep into the forest once again. Hansel broke his bread into pieces and left a trail of breadcrumbs to lead them safely home. But hungry-eyed birds snatched up the breadcrumbs and his trail was destroyed. Abandoned by their parents and unable to find the trail home, the children wandered in the forest for 3 days. The children stumbled into a clearing with an exceedingly strange house. Its walls were made of gingerbread, and its windows were panes of clear sugar. Hansel, desperately hungry, ran forward and began to nibble on the walls. "Nibble, nibble, little mouse. Who is nibbling at my house?" An old woman emerged from the house, sniffing the air and peering around with cloudy eyes. "Oh, you dear children, who brought you here? Just come in and stay with me. No harm will come to you." But Hansel and Gretel stayed back, for the old woman reminded them of their cruel mother. "Come, children, don't be afraid. I have something for you." The old woman offered them 2 enormous lollipops. The children took them and began to eat. "You see, nothing to fear here. Come inside," the old woman urged, and the children, still licking their sweets, followed. Once inside the house, the old woman changed. She stuffed Hansel into a cage and put Gretel to work, sweeping and cleaning her hut. "Your brother will make a good mouthful," the old witch told Gretel. "Once he is fattened up, I shall feast upon him." Time passed, and poor Hansel refused to eat, fearing the day that the witch would eat him. The witch, for her part, grew impatient. "Today I will cook and eat your brother, Gretel. Climb inside and light the oven." But Gretel pretended not to understand. "I do not know how. Where is the opening?" "Fool," the old witch said. "The opening is here." And she moved to show Gretel. Seizing her courage, brave Gretel gave the witch a shove, and the old crone tumbled forward into the oven. Gretel slid a large iron bolt over the door to the oven. Gretel freed her brother Hansel, and together they lit a fire beneath the oven. And though she screamed and begged, the children sat by the oven until her screams had stilled, and the witch was cooked. And then, because even children can't survive on sweets, they divided up the body of the old witch and ate her.
Okay, that was the Hansel and Gretel ride on the swans.
Hansel and Gretel. I used to read it to Callum when the electricity was shut off. Those poor children. The whole world against them. The forest, the birds, the old witch, even their own parents. I used to imagine that Callum and I were the kids in that story. Not mother and son, but brother and sister, hand in hand against the unkind world. We were always hungry, looking for our own house made of candy, looking for the sweetness that could take the pain away. Hunger leads people to desperate, terrible places where the tree branches reach like claws. Another accident. This place.
Despite the constant interruptions to work, Atlantic Island Park will be opening on time. The governor is booked to cut the ribbons, so the only real question is whether we will have any customers. I'm not truly worried. The customers will come out of simple curiosity. I deduced what was needed from the banned writings of Archie Henderson. It's astonishing to think that a resonance of positive emotions can be used to fuel such a process. Henderson himself chose to use negative, and that caused some of the taint that still lingers in this place. I will not make his mistakes. Very soon, I will know if this has all been for nothing. There.
This old thing used to make the blood run to my head. Make me dizzy. The guy just snapped. Those poor kids.
Eyewitness report, Atlantic Island Park incident. Officer on duty, Sheriff F. Bannerman. Witness name, Norma Creed. Statement, we were waiting for our turn on the ride. Frank, me and the boys. This fellow in the chipmunk suit is making an ice carving while people take photographs. Lawrence wanted to go over to him, but I've always been a bit wary of those suits. They give me the creeps. It's silly, I know. Anyway, the chipmunk man, he was carving and picking away at the ice, and at first we thought he was making some animal like a tiger or lion, but as more and more ice fell away, when you first looked it was like a human face smiling out of that block of ice, but the more you looked at it, the more you saw that there was something not quite right about the proportions, something unnatural that made your heart begin to beat just a little bit faster, like you were prey and that thing in the ice was a hunter. But then these teenagers walked up, and one of them made a face at the carving and said something rude to the guy in the chipmunk suit, and then, well, he went berserk. For a few moments it was chaos. Everybody was running away from the guy, who had one of the teenagers on the ground, and he was stabbing with the ice pick, and blood was spraying, and people were screaming, and Frank and I had the kids, and we were dragging them away as fast as we could. And the last thing I saw before Frank dragged me away was that the eyeball of one of those poor kids had landed on the ice sculpture, making the horrible creature look more or less alive. Creepy. Frustrated by the fact that the plans seem incomplete, I know as well as anybody that the rules of the game can be changed with enough money, but no matter how much money talks, it can't conjure up missing plans from thin air. I've tried contacting the organization who sold me these plans, and they are stonewalling me. Every contact that I had, every meeting place that I have had watched or swept bare, I have a sinking feeling that I have been swindled. We've gone ahead with what we could find in the plans regardless, and the harvesting machines like the transport mechanisms, etc. I'll probably let Nicholas name them something cute for the day we open the park. They will be rides after all.
I can't get on while it's moving. I remember this.
Me and Callum.
Treachery hides in thoughts. Treachery that lashes like a whip and scars our insides. The first time I saw Callum, my thoughts betrayed me. I looked down at this wrinkled, red, bawling thing and I thought, is that it? We build our world from expectations, and the world that I had built for Callum was no different. He was so real, so there, and so far from my expectations. And they shattered, and as they fell in pieces, that one treacherous thought became a new foundation. All of the love that we shared, all of the warmth and goodness that followed, built on a single, traitorous thought.
I thought working in the park for a summer would be a lot of fun, but at the end of season here really drags. There aren't many tourists around, and so most of the staff spend their days standing around gossiping, and most of that gossip is about Chad. I mean Steve. See, even I am starting to call him Chad, and I went to school with the guy. It's that goddamn suit. In the beginning, it was a laugh. Steve, the local lush, as Chad the Chipmunk, child-friendly mascot at Atlantic Island Park, lock up your daughters and all of that. But the more he wears that suit, the weirder Steve is getting. At first, it was little things, like refusing to change out of the suit at work and taking it home with him every day. But then I saw him at Susie's Diner, still wearing it, and it wasn't even a work day. Some of the staff complained discreetly to the park management about the smell, and I saw him walking and talking with Mr. Winter, the owner, one day. But nothing seems to have changed. The suit still smells like a carcass whenever Steve walks by. And apparently Steve has picked up some new skills since the last time I saw him, puking up in a gutter outside Sequoia Station, because he sure as hell can carve a mean ice sculpture. Those shapes he makes in the ice, though, they give me the creeps. Steve came by the booth today, lucky me, and he just hung around for a while. I couldn't really tell because of the suit, but it seemed like he was just staring at me, sizing me up, eyeing me, whatever he was doing. I asked him what he wanted, and he just stood there, not saying anything. Eventually I called my supervisor, and when he came by, Chad, Steve, wandered off. My supervisor told me to put everything in writing, so here it is. Also, I quit. I don't want to see that chipmunk suit ever again. Laura Hedman.
Constant crashes and 80s music. I guess it floats someone's boat.
Let's go to the bumper cars. Examine accident report. Employee name, Francis Dunfreen. Time and date of accident incident, the 25th day of October 1976. Job title and departments, laborers working on the crane. Supervisor lead person, Richard Stapleton. Witnesses, Lawrence Creed. Michael Edgeworth. Brief description of the accident or incident. During the transport of the bumper cars into the arena, one of the straps attaching the load to the truck untied, causing a cascade of bumper cars onto Francis, who was standing directing the driver. Francis was crushed by the weight of the cars. Describing the injuries caused, Francis was killed. Did the injured employee see a doctor? Yes. If yes, did you file an employer's portion of the workers' compensation form? Yes. Supervisor's comments. Dexter, the trunk driver, claims to have seen someone on the back of the load undoing the straps. Nobody else reported seeing that. The sheriff has requested that Dexter provide them with urine samples. What could have been done to prevent this incident? Double checking of the straps after transit should be mandatory, and drug screening for all drivers. Have the unsafe conditions been corrected? No. Additional comments notes. The local laborers are very superstitious, and this hasn't helped. Some of them are refusing to return to work until we have someone from the local church walk the park and exorcise the bad spirits.
I wonder what this is.
Nathaniel Winter, financial genius or eccentric geriatric? When Nathaniel Winter, billionaire mogul, announced his intention to build an amusement park on the fog-surrounded shores. When Nathaniel Winter, billionaire mogul, announced his intention to build an amusement park on the fog-shrouded shores of Solomon Island off the coast of New England, there were sneakers up and down Wall Street. Winter, who made his fortune through a series of savvy investments during the post-war boom, has long been considered an eccentric, brilliant man. His passion for the New England region has always been at the forefront of his investment portfolio, with him pouring funds into the local businesses, small and large. In general, his business sense and investments have paid off, and due to his generosity, Winter enjoys a friendly relationship with the governor and other key political figures. So why, with a track record like this, are the Wall Street wizards shaking their heads? At first glance, Solomon Island is an odd choice, a tiny town called Kingsmouth, with a sleepy main street, a preppy academy for dropouts from Boston, a lighthouse that is already in the process of being automated, and a belligerent tribe of natives who were very recently involved in a dispute over the Blue Ridge mines. It doesn't make sense, one commenter pointed out. New England has a short summer this far north, and the number of visitors to Solomon Island per season are limited. I don't see how he expects to turn a profit. But others have far more faith in Winter. Under conditions of anonymity, an engineer who has seen the plans for the park notes several anomalies. He's digging far deeper than is needed for an amusement park, including several underground chambers which are too small to house machinery. If you ask me, the old man is looking for something buried beneath the island itself. Could this be the real reason for the eccentric businessman has relocated to this remote northern island? Is this corporate misdirection of the highest order by a crafty entrepreneur? With the disputes over the Blue Ridge mine with the native population ongoing, there is definitely something buried beneath Solomon Island. Perhaps Nathaniel Winter is going to surprise us all. dissuade them. They have sent an inspector to investigate the accidents at the park. I've given him the grand tour and spoken about all of our safety upgrades, but he seems unconvinced. In this case, the park itself is working against me. This Duer man has been more and more intractable the more time he spends in the park. I've offered to pay for his stay in the Overlook Hotel to get him out of here. It seems to have made him even more paranoid. I don't think this man is going to allow my park to stay open. This is a disaster for my ultimate goals.
It's a matter of public record that I am a failure as a mother. Once, when Callum was very small, I left him asleep in the car while I ran an errand. Don't even remember what it was. When I came back, the sheriff was standing next to the car, watching my boy through the window. I didn't like what I saw in his eyes. Judgment. He wrote me the ticket without saying a word. Just the scratch of his pen on the notepad. When he gave it to me, our eyes met. I know what you're going through. My daughter, Helen, she just gets some help. Help was a bolt of lightning. Help was 1,000 volts surging through my veins. Help is agony. I'd rather die. I wanted to scream. I'd rather you pulled your gun and shot me. But instead my mouth said, "Yes, Sheriff."
Continually delayed by the incompetence of the builders. The problem is that they are locals, and so they believe a lot of the rumors about what Old Man Henderson used to do here. They grew up on those tales. Every time a bolt comes loose or a wrench goes missing, those fools are crossing themselves against the black magic. Of course, that is why I chose this site over all the other potentials. Solomon Island is a nexus for dark energies, and the thought of all that power just dissipating beneath the earth here makes my skin crawl. I called in a few favors back in Brooklyn and got someone at the local academy to see if they had any interesting books about local history. Turns out they do, and it turns out that Old Man Henderson had some pretty strong connections to the Brooklyn crowd. Perhaps something he wrote will help me find a piece of the plans that I am missing.
close this place down. Doesn't surprise me.
State Bureau of Fair Rides Inspection, Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. State Inspection Report. Inspection date September 22nd, 1980. Inspection result unsafe, close the park. Inspector's comments after touring the park, riding the rides, and viewing the startling number of incidents suffered here in the park. It is an inspector's opinion that Atlantic Island Park should be shut down until Nathaniel Winter complies with all safety regulations. While I understand that there is a sensitive political relationship between Mr. Winter and the Senator, I nevertheless suggested that such political considerations be set aside in condemning Atlantic Island Park. The rides at first glance appeared well constructed and maintained, but the sheer number of incidents in the park during the last few years and during construction led me to believe that there is something wrong at the base level of construction, and we should close the park and fully investigate these flaws. To wit, here is a partial list of the fatalities in the park since opening only 2 years ago. Family of 3 killed when a roller coaster car derailed. 14 separate incidents of broken bones and crushed ribs while riding the Octotron. 3 suicides on the top of the Ferris wheel. A child seriously injured on the escalator. Over a dozen children reported missing in the House of Horrors since its construction. 1 report of a drowning in the Tunnel of Tales. The sheer volume of incidents means that it is my strong recommendation that Atlantic Island Park be closed immediately. Signed, David Woolseth.
People come into your life for a reason. Dad used to say that before Mom ran off. After that, he mostly just drank. Things were different for Don and I. When we met, I was sweeping the floor at Susie's diner. He came in with some workers, but he didn't try to flirt or cop a feel like the others. He just ordered a coffee and sat there, watching me. When my shift was over, he offered to walk me home. I don't know how to describe that walk. We talked and laughed and eventually kissed. It felt like love. It felt like a fairy tale. I can't tell you if Callum was made that night or one of the ones that followed. But I think it has to be that night. That one perfect night. Don and I moved in together, but then, well, he died. According to the supervisor, his safety harness failed when he was working on the top of the Ferris wheel. Don was there one moment, and then gone. Sometimes people leave your life for no reason. I was 3 months pregnant with Callum. Fairy tale fucking over.
There's the Octotron over there. This is the other side of the bridge that is taken out. Next, I think I need to go to the roller coaster. Okay. Okay.
A lot of people idolize their children. You hear them talking about their kids and just the way they talk, their fucking voices make me want to vomit. My angel likes to read, and little Johnny is so good on the piano. Fuck those people! You give up 9 months of your life carrying them, you traumatize yourself giving birth to them, and then you spend the rest of your life as their slave. Wiping asses, mopping up piss, feeding them. Little life-sucking monsters who take and take and take until... we all go insane. Any parent who pretends otherwise is just dishonest. That's called choice supportive bias. I am honest. Callum really grinds my gears, and he owes me everything. Everything. It'd serve the little fuck right if I just abandoned him. I always wanted to ride this one. Never got around to do it before. What do you want?
We need to talk about Callum.
What do you mean? What have you done to him?
That's insulting. You and your boy are everything that this place doesn't want. The antithesis of what we stand for.
Where is Callum?
The poor child. He tried so hard to do what he was taught. He even left you a trail of breadcrumbs. But the park is just so hungry.
Tell me where my son is.
The witch has him now. Has both of you. No happy ending here, I'm afraid.
Just leave me alone.
Fool. You always were.
It works. The calculations and adjustments worked. The transport and storage mechanisms seemed to be flawless. What a wonderful day. If only these people knew what they were fueling. And so what if a few people leave the park at the end of the day feeling dour? So what if the children are more scared than excited on the roller coaster? This could be the doorway to immortality, and such doorways open only to those who have the will to find the key.
The witch awaits. Callum has bruises on his arms, finger marks. Someone has been hurting him! I've asked him, demanded really, to know where he got the marks. But he doesn't want to answer me. Something has scared him into silence. He doesn't dare talk. He's been changing too. Something sinister lurks in the darkness behind his eyes. I catch him staring at me at odd moments. In the night, he tosses and turns and cries out words that I cannot understand. When I try to soothe him, he snaps and bites at my fingers. I think he wants to talk to me. I think he wants to tell me. But they are watching him every minute of every day. They are whispering to him in his sleep, changing him. They are taking my baby away from me. I can save him. And there will be pain. But I love him, and in the end, he will understand why. The whole town was shocked by that one. Never found out who did it.
Cotton Candy Corpse leaves sour taste in partygoers' mouths by How Laurel. Yesterday evening, visitors to Atlantic Island Park were shocked and horrified by the discovery of a dismembered corpse behind the cotton candy stand. According to the local authorities, the corpse has yet to be identified. However, they have confirmed that the remains appear to be those of a child. The corpse was discovered by a group of teenagers from Innsmouth Academy who noticed a pair of ravens tugging at something just out of sight behind the shack. Nathaniel Winter, the owner of Atlantic Island Park, has released the following statement. It is a true tragedy when something like this occurs, especially in a place that was designed to bring forth happiness and joy. The staff of Atlantic Island Park offer their condolences to the family and friends of the victim and will cooperate fully with authorities to help bring this case to rest. The Solomon Chronicle will provide daily updates on this story going forward. Wow, okay. A corpse.
Bastard. Who did this to him? These are mine.
Don't touch me!
Future Times by Laurel and Howdy. Belly button is the signature of your personal creator. I believe her name was Mama. Every 17th child is a magnet for sinfulness, made omniscient by broken fires in the coastal strain. We don't believe that the earth belongs to battered goats and shamrock afterbirth. Only the truly naked wrens of righteous indignation are severed by war-crossed cleavages in trust, exercise, arrhythmia. Beaumont will come to the island bearing the talisman, and he will shatter the seals that bind the orthodoxy of corruption. Only then will priests shoot, sluts reveal, housewives pontificate, and delayed messiahs make axles for the rescue of Tango and Cash. Sweet the temptress who grips the shaft, twists the shaft, absconding with third age fire into the fourth age darkness, while gods lie writhing on the shattered face of the earth. Gaia has sweetness and grace, but her days are numbered, and heavy-fisted hives break before frozen wills and calligraphic artists in pencil and paper pornography. The all-seeing eye will provide decades-long updates on the story going forward. What is that? That's weird. That does not make any sense.
No. The park is a collage of contradictions all of its own. Millions of people die every year in car crashes, and the park has little cars designed specifically to simulate that action. Hear the children scream with joy. In the sideshow alley, you can walk away with 15 cents worth of mass-produced Chinese teddy bears, while a grinning carny pockets your hard-earned $5. And what secrets lie beneath the sullen waters of the lake? The tears of jilted lovers, the soiled condoms of illicit affairs, the clotted blood of the lonely suicide. And the face of the witch looms over it all. I've always despised her toothy grin and warty nose. I hate that sparkle in her weathered, watchful eyes. I think Callum is waiting for me. Inside.
incidents, and I cannot dismiss them as random chance. The park works, but something is interfering with its intended function. It's as if the very air in this place is corrupting the power even as I collect it. A few casualties here and there are acceptable, but when employees go on stabbing rampages, it draws attention. I'd rather not have the boys in blue, either kind, investigating this place too closely. It's a shame about Steve. I rather liked him.
One little duck went out one day.
Nightmare Circus by Funcom. On the back says, a circus burns to the ground on opening night, killing dozens. The owner is put to death by an enraged mob of town folks, just as he shouts out a curse. Now Raven, a dark-souled wanderer, comes to the ruins at dusk in search of his missing mother. Let the show begin.
After they let me out, they gave me Callum back and sent me home with a handful of breadcrumbs. Home, bittersweet home. I barely recognized it. Where there had been color and light, there were shadows and regrets. Where there had been warmth, there was a bone-deep coldness that never went away. I tried my hardest to keep the ghosts at bay. Don, watching from the dusty corners while I tried to teach his son to read. My father, coldly assessing me and finding me lacking. I devoted myself to Callum and did the things that they told me. It will get better, they said. Every day will be a little better than the last. I'm in the woods now, lost and afraid. Things never got any better.
Hunger, the true story of the Donners. On the back it reads, on April 16th, 1846, a group of covered wagons began the 2,500-mile journey to California. Just 8 months later, they found themselves stranded in the Sierra Nevada mountains with very little to bite or sup. It was to become one of the greatest tragedies of westward migration that the world has ever seen. Now our panel of Donner experts have uncovered compelling evidence that the families were forced to resort to cannibalism in order to survive that terrible winter. In this never-before-seen expose, read about how the Donner children were forced to eat their brothers and sisters in order to survive. All here in the pages of this shockingly true story. Disconnect notice from Dunwich Power Company. After multiple attempts to collect payment, we regret to inform you that the service has been disconnected, or will be disconnected shortly. Please do the following. Make the payment listed on your last bill. Contact us at 555-7868, and we can arrange a payment plan so that you can immediately be reconnected. If you believe this is an error, call us at 555-7869 to discuss your options. Number 3, if you're unable to make payment, please contact your local welfare office to discuss a placement for you or your loved ones. Winter in Maine is cold and brutal. Don't face it without electricity. The Dunwich Power Company. I love you, Callum. The Wilting by Susan Ancombe. With this novel, Susan Ancombe cements her place as one of the most important science fiction writers of a generation. The Wilting, a solar flare has struck the Earth. Millions of people are uprooted from their homes. A young meteorologist searches desperately for a way to stop global overheating. And an exotic dancer named Chancel O'Hara is the key to saving the world. Again, dynamic, exciting, bombastic, everything we've come to expect from an Ancombe novel. Chancel O'Hara is back, and you'd better believe she's bigger, better, and bolder than ever. Examine a wrench. Read shopping list. Milk, cheese, bread, butter, corn, potatoes, apples, fish sticks. Remember, drop off Callum, electricity bill, fix faucet. Dunwich Emergency Services. Miss Maylard, as we agreed in our meeting today, we consider you fully recovered from your illness. This letter is official notification that you are considered sound of mind and body and may return to work at any time. Please note that you should discontinue any medication that you have been using and dispose of any remaining medications or medicines. If you feel at any time that you are suffering a relapse, then please make contact with your local physician immediately. We wish you continued good health. Dr. Spencer, Dunwich Medical. Lorraine, I received your letter and I am quite surprised you ran off with your father all of those years ago, then disappeared off the edge of the map, and then when I finally tracked you down, refused to answer any of my letters. And now you write to me asking for help. I have another family now and another life. Your father was a horrible man, and I regret the years that I wasted with him. I loved you, and I truly did, but every year you grew more and more like him. You were his girl, never really mine. Still, I would have fought for custody if you hadn't run away with him. It broke my heart, but I needed to go on living. I can't let you back into my life without picking open old wounds. I'm sorry, Lorraine, but I just can't do it. Maybe one day it will be easier and you can meet Callum. But not yet. I am not ready to forgive you. Please don't contact me again, Karen. A toy. We notice Miss Maylard, our inquiry into the estate of Mr. Donald Wilson. Miss Maylard, our inquiry into the estate of Mr. Donald Williams has been completed. We regret to inform you that the primary beneficiaries of his estate, including the life insurance settlement for accidental death, were listed as Rose Williams and Richard Williams of New York State, the deceased's parents. Our agency made contact with Mr. and Mrs. Williams and explained your situation, especially as regards to the birth of Donald's son, Callum. Unfortunately, they were not receptive to our overtures, and they specified that without any legal proof of a biological relationship, they consider you ineligible to receive any of the monies from Donald's estate. They have asked that we no longer contact them regarding this matter. I understand that this may have a negative effect on your current financial situation, and I hope that I am not being too forward when I enclose the bill for our services with this letter. Sincerely, Edward Stapleton, attorney. guess. The park it was a waitin' on a child for takin', using joy for baitin', while their mother's mind is breaking, analgesia win. That's, things are getting strange. So what is this woman, like, crazy or something? Lorraine, things aren't right between us at the moment. I know, I want to try and explain it. I think it is because I am so far from home and I am working so hard. Every day working at the park, it gets worse, like a spring inside my mind, winding tighter and tighter and tighter. When we go for drinks after work, it gets a little better. The guys relax and we laugh and we're good people again. I don't want to come home to you without being in my right mind, but when this job is done, we need to get out of this place. We need to go back to the city where I don't feel like this anymore. I love you, Donald. P.S. I was thinking about names for boys or girls. I like Callum for a boy and Emma if it's a girl. Hunger, the true story of Holodomor. In the spring of 1933 in the Soviet Ukraine, an entire population found themselves without food. Over the course of the coming months, the situation grew critical and reports of mass malnutrition began to filter into the upper echelons of the government. The people had been left with very little to bite or sup. It was to become one of the greatest tragedies of mass starvation that the world has ever seen. Now, our panel of Soviet experts has uncovered compelling evidence that the families were forced to resort to cannibalism in order to survive that terrible winter. In this never-before-seen expose, read about how the starving parents cooked and ate their own children in order to survive. All here in the pages of this shocking true story. Things are getting stranger. The Wilting by Susan N. Comby. That's the same one. Milk, cheese, bread, butter, corn, potatoes, apples, fish sticks, Zolift prescription. Remember, take the pills. Follow up with Dr. Spencer. Organize babysitter for Callum.
One little duck went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, quack, quack,
That's weird.
but no little ducks came back.
I didn't run away. Dad took me. Things are getting curiouser and curiouser. Thank you, William, for the new watch. It is very nice and has made me a happier carrot. Dunwich Emergency Services. Diagnosis depression. Date of committal 10/17/1977. Date of discharge 10/22. 11/10/1977. Maillard, Lorraine, Kimberly. Lorraine seems to be suffering from depression that began early in her pregnancy. Our discussions have made it obvious that these episodes stem from the grief of losing her partner, Dawn, who died about 6 months ago. There are also several unresolved issues with her father. After being kept under careful observation, we provided standard treatment for recovery, including electroconvulsive therapy. The patient responded and made a very rapid recovery. Aftercare recommendations, weekly follow-up with the local physician, mood stabilizers, lithium-based discharge instructions. Lorraine has a newborn son, Callum, who was placed in foster care shortly after birth when Lorraine displayed symptoms of disorientation and depression. Some judgment. It is our judgment that Lorraine is fit to have her son returned to her, and as long as she follows her recommended aftercare routine and continues with her medication, we have faith that she will be an effective caregiver. Lorraine has her own housing, and her employer, Susie, has said that she is welcome to return to her shifts at the diner. Norma Creed, a local woman, has offered to care for Callum while Lorraine works. It is with this support network in mind that we feel confident releasing Lorraine from this institution. Medication instructions: a prescription of Zolift that can be filled at Flags' pharmacy in Kingsmouth. She has been advised to start with the 50 milligram dose and then, based on the advice of her doctor, to increase the medication as needed. That's the same notice. Then you go down another level, and it gets even stranger. A chipmunk goes a stabbing in the eyes, a jabbing, and all of the townies gabbing. Just lie down and let it happen. Basal ganglia win. Okay, that's even weirder. Letter burned. When we go for drinks after work, it gets a little better. The guys relax and we laugh and we're good people again. Oh, that's the same one. See her try, her lie, her cry. Milk, Zolift prescription. Cheese, Zolift prescription. Bread, Zolift prescription. Butter, Zolift prescription. Corn, Zolift prescription. Potatoes, Zolift prescription. Apples, Zolift prescription. Fish sticks, remember. More pills. Tickets to Atlantic Island party. Bottles. A history of Solomon Island. Thank you, William. The new watch. A boogeyman goes a walking, sneaking, stealing, stalking. Is he really a talking? Now is not the time for balking. Cerebral cortex win. Okay, that's disturbing. Things are starting to get very, very disturbing. Dead babies. The woodcutter is dead, the witch always wins. The woodcutter is dead, the witch always wins. Yada yada yada. Okay, that's very, very strange. Blood on the cap. Bye bye. Her cry, see her try. Her why. Her cry. With Can You Hear Us, Lorraine, one of the most important science fiction writers of our generation. Sun will strike the earth, millions of cattle uprooted from their homes. A young shadow searches desperately for a way to stop global domination. An exotic dancer, listen, Lorraine, is the key to saving the world again. I guess she's schizophrenic. She's really losing it. I guess she's really losing it. Zolif prescription. Remember, you are alone. Nobody loves you. Callum is no longer what he was. What's in here? Nobody can help you now. She's lost it. She's lost it. Lorraine, I need you to focus on what we are discussing. The chipmunk killed Steve Gardner. He was locked away from what he did to those kids. Nathaniel Winter hasn't been seen in years. He is nowhere near Atlantic Island Park. We've established this, you know this. See her lie, ask her why, see her try, say bye-bye, see him die.
Stories are told again and again, and from their shape we build our understanding of the world. 2 children are led into the woods. They are lost for a time, but then are captured by an old witch. A child goes missing in Atlantic Island Park. He wanders lost for a time before finding his way into the mouth of an old witch. In the oldest version of the story, the mother and the witch were the same person. I never wanted to be the witch, but I am, aren't I?
Kids broke in today. It's been so long since I heard laughter, so very long. I took one of them. I couldn't help myself. It was fast. The others didn't notice. I liked hearing him laugh. This boy from the academy. I put him on a slab. I tickled him until he couldn't breathe. My machines came to life, roaring in time to his gasps and squeaks. I think this is delightful. Some really big psychopath. Eyes that sparkle. Hansel and Gretel.
Callum. Callum! Callum. Callum. Callum!
Hey, Lorraine. Lorraine. Don't blame yourself, Lorraine. People lose things all the time. Take a deep breath and think about the last place you saw your son.
In my heart and mind, I always return to Atlantic Island Park.
Okay. Looks like that is the finale of the park by Funcom. Funcom also produces Moons of Madness, which I just reviewed as well. This is a short little game that uses the Unreal Engine, sort of like a horror mystery game. On the shorter side, as you know, but just one that I wanted to review. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll be making more gameplay and review videos very soon. So come join me there. Thanks for watching, and thanks for watching all my other videos as well. And there'll be many more to come. Goodbye for now.